it's it's nothing to just my imagination getting to me again. As if Jason could come out again, right? Oh, wait. He has. He's the man behind the mask, and he's losing control. Yep, this is Friday the 13th. VI Jason Lives. Now, some villains die once, some die twice, but only Jason accidentally gets turned into a deadite by a lightning storm. Yay! Oh, goodness me. And perhaps the god of rock, Alice Cooper, and the man behind the mask rocks it. Now, why do I get 007 vibes from this start of this film? It's so bizarre. This is so tongue-in-cheek. It's so over the top, but yet works so well. It's that whole thing of they're leaning into it being so over the top, so now they might as well run with it. They've jumped the shark. Let's go with it. So now, today, we look at the film where Jason takes on the supernatural for perhaps the first time. Now, there are leanings into there being a supernatural reason why he comes back, but it's mainly the lightning storm. But I personally like to think that Ash is over the next street, conjuring up with the book. And, you know, there's a lightning storm at the same time. And I personally think that Ash and Freddy have got something to do with the fact that Jason comes back in this one and subsequent other ones. Now, you might think I'm mad, but trust me, it works when you start reading the comic books. Now, Tommy Jarvis, whose character has now done a complete 360 from being a severe PTSD-ridden semi-killer in his own right, now turns round to being the all-American action hero. They still mention the fact that he's from the clinic and is still at the sort of like the halfway house where they help cure people with PTSD and stuff for unwanted sort of like problems and things like that. They still lean into that, and one of his friends comes with him at the start of the film, but honestly, it's almost like this could be a completely different character. It's just by name, really, that it's Tommy, but it does work for the storyline. But I want to know how he's managed to do a complete 360. It's an interesting point, you know. They should have leaned into that more, how he sort of like changed, and they should have done some scenes where he was getting better, maybe. I don't know. That's probably my only bugbear with the film, is that Tommy's character has done a complete 360. But it works for the film, so there you go. Now, the main part of the storyline is obviously Tommy's feeling better, a bit more heroic. He goes to check on Jason's grave and accidentally, you know, inadvertently brings him back to life because there's a lightning storm at the same time. I mean, why would you want to dig him up anyway? We know Jason is dead. There's been no kills, no activity, as far as we know. Why would he go, better go check? You know, why? Why would you do that? And then obviously there's a very well-timed lightning storm that brings back Jason. But like I said, it's all to do with Ash and Freddy Krueger. I stand by it. Or some people's theories are that, of course, Jason's body is controlled by his mum's vengeful spirit, who was into like supernatural stuff anyway. But that's not exactly 100%. That's another theory for another day. Jason is silent in this one. He's indestructible, and he almost has that teleportation power that they lean into later on. You know, he's a very slow walker. I think he's about as slow walker as it comes to like with Michael Myers who's the slowest walker that can then go, don't come here, So there you go. It's just one of these things where I think, wow, you got this. Now, the director is Tom McLoughlin, and he leans into the comedy aspect of it, especially with the paintball scene where Jason gets his fresh, clean machete, and it just works, Why is Jason on a paintball field? Who knows? But it's hilarious. There's one scene where he bashes someone's face in, and then on the wood, there's a smiley face bit. There's a guy who sort of accidentally tries to fix a stick he's broken because he's clumsy. He should have been in the whole film inadvertently avoiding Jason with comedic timing. I think they missed a trick there. They should have kept the comedy character like him alive, and he's just like inadvertently avoiding Jason throughout the whole film. They missed a trick there. They shouldn't have killed him off. But yeah, it's very self-aware, and the comedy timing, like I said, is brilliant, especially in that paintball scene. It just lightens the whole thing up. Now, you can tell that there's been more money put into this, but then, we'll get into it later, that the kills aren't as, it's like there's more money put into it, but it's less gory. But I think the film works in its own bubble anyway. Now, the film definitely gives you slasher rock star vibes. Jason is put in the forefront of the film. He is the main star in a way. You've got your final girl and things like that. But that's not strictly true in this one. Because obviously if you've seen this before, you'll know that there's more than one survivor, thank goodness, in this one. Which is, and that's why I think it's more about Jason in this one, rather than the camp counsellors and Tommy and everything like that. Jason's the main star, And he's played by C.J. Graham. And I think this is one of my favourite portrayals of Jason, actually. I really like it. Yeah, I really do. Now, a lot of the kills were censored, like we talked about before. But I genuinely think that's because of the Alice Cooper collaboration. They wanted to make it more mainstream. It looks a lot cleaner, the film. Now, and I reckon there's a lot to do with that. So you've got a bigger budget, and you've got collaborations with like rock stars and stuff. Even though Alice Cooper, probably would have loved to have been gory and stuff, there has to be a limit with the execs, and they're like, yeah, we don't want Alice Cooper's name to be tarnished with a gore fit, So I understand why they've done that. And it does still work, though. It really does still work. Because obviously, with a lot of the kills, you use your imagination. Everyone's seen Leatherface and things like that, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. In the first one, you barely see any gore. But because the sounds are grisly, and because, the makeup and the effects are good, you think you're seeing more than you are. And so we get the same vibe here. So it does still work. There's a lot of good kills in this one as well, quite inventive. And there's 18 kills on and off screen. Not as many as some previous ones where it was like one kill every 4 minutes. This is a bit more paced out, And like I was saying, the effects and the camera work and the creature feature work feels a lot more cleaner and gorier, and the blood shines bright in this one. There's something about the way the formula of the blood they've used. It just makes it look, I don't know, it's really intense colouring of blood in this, if that makes any sense. But it's really good. And like I said, this is the first in the series that feels less grimy. It doesn't feel like it's been shot on a camera and someone's been recording the events of what's happened. This feels like an actual film with a good budget. It's a lot cleaner and the effects are a lot better, for me anyway. It feels less dirty. Do you know what I mean? It feels less dirty. It feels a lot cleaner, and I feel that they've leaned into that a lot as well. And we've even got some daytime scenes and stuff like that. Some of the Friday the 13th ones are based totally at night, aren't they, apart from the beginning? This has got some daytime scenes here and there, and it feels cleaner, feels brighter. Even though it is quite a gory, moody film in a way, the comedy sort of overlaps it. But it's not so polarising as the other ones, where it's comedic by mistake and stuff. This is intentional comedy to alleviate the serious bits. So it does work. Yes, indeed. And of course, my favourite part of one of the kills is the one in the van, where the girl literally gets her head squished into the mirror and you see the imprint of her face on the other end. Like I said, it's not gory, but it's very inventive. And that was a pretty good kill for me. I liked that, because you don't usually see that in a lot of the films. And yeah, it's not practical, it's not real life, and that's what makes it over the top and, you know, pretty cool. It's just like, you see her face at the other end. Fantastic. And of course, Martin Becker handled the special effects, and he created Jason's zombie look, which is iconic now. Everyone always thinks about Jason's iconic zombie looks, and I think this is where it's all started out. And I love the fact that we get Zombie Jason finally. This is peak Jason now. Apart from, of course, Jason X later on. But this is Jason in his proper final form. You've got the hockey mask finally. You've got the, the supernatural powers. And you've got the, sort of being brought back from the dead type stuff, where he's a zombie deadite. So this is peak Jason until later on. Yes. And it does work because of the zombie effects. Even though bits and pieces were cut out, I feel because of the zombie aspect, because of the, the gore and the grossness of the actual main, villain, it does work. It gives you that shock value. And even though some of the kills were censored, this adds to it. And it makes you feel, So that's the main thing I like about it, is that you do get, even though some of the bits are censored, it makes you feel like they're not, because you get the Jason gore. I loved it. And of course, simple iconic scenes, such as the lightning, the bits and pieces in the caravans, the bits where you actually get dread of Jason going after the camp counsellors and the kids. It's not very often you actually get him going after the kids as well. So that was pretty cool. And that adds an element of dread that you don't usually get. So I enjoyed that. If you like that sort of thing, it was scary in some ways. The shock value was there. So I'm going to give this 8 out of 10. Really loved it. Had a nice mixture of scares, good kills, obviously peak Jason, zombie Jason. It was great. So for me, it's one of the best so far in the series. Every other episode has been up and down for different reasons. There's been bits and pieces where some are really good up to a certain point and then they flop bad. But for me, it feels like a horror action film, if that makes sense. And it really works. It's like a horror action comedy. And it really does work. So I'm going to give this 8 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you think. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's review. There'll be more coming soon. Apologies this one was late, but there'll be more very soon. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. And a special thank you to all of our members. Oh, I'm out of here. I need a holiday desperately. Oh, man. Where would Jason never find me? I know. A nice Old cabin in the woods. Ah, yeah, that sounds great. Let me have a look on TripAdvisor. A nice cabin in the woods away from Jason. Sounds like heaven. Ah, yes. I can almost taste the cool cider now. Not today, you rock star hippie deadite. I'm off on a holiday. Oh, I've had enough of you. I'm off. Out of here. Nah, too pricey. Plus I heard the shower's broken. Let's try somewhere else. It's a bit of a fixer-upper, but it'll do. Yeah. Such a lovely fire. Join us. Join us. Wait a sec, what's that book? And the vast amounts of blood is the Necronomicon!